Reporting to you live from Comic-Con.
We're here at New York Comic-Con 2025. Brendan Fraser just walked by. Carl Urban, Paul Giamatti, all three of them just walked by. None of them said hi to me.
So was Free Yourself about finally letting go or admitting you weren't ready to?
Free Yourself, I think, is empowering yourself to take charge of your life. And I believe that song is about freeing yourself from expectations or any type of just things that are holding you back from living your full potential. And to me, I wrote that actually really inspired by our manager at the time, was going through gender transition. And I just thought it was so powerful that he could be himself. And I thought he's really freeing himself in the world.
Oh, that's cool.
To be who you want to be, you know?
That's cool. It's also cool you brought up a deep cut like that. That's probably like 10 years ago or 7 years ago cut or something.
Yeah.
You probably did that a while ago now, that song, right? Yeah. One of our faves that we play live a lot. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, I noticed when you guys started, you were more in standard D tuning, and you've really transitioned to completely...
You're a guitar player, aren't you?
Maybe.
Must be a guitar player. Sorry, go ahead. So we were in standard.
And you've pretty much been using drop C more or less ever since. I was wondering what brought on that change.
Yeah, like every year, every album got lower. Like basically, I think it was by initiation we were down to the drop C, which is actually, it's even lower now. We're playing in drop A sharp is where we're at right now. And I think every year, you know, we were trying to make another record, and Skye and I were trying to, always try to find our sound. And I have to, there's times where I feel like I was trying to push Skye to be even more metal, I guess, and heavy.
Yeah.
And then I would try to push myself too, and paying attention to like newer music, I realized that bands were tuning lower and lower. I like to stay on a 6-string. I don't like to go to 7 or 8. So I just started tuning everything a lot lower. And then it pushes Skye into a lower register, and I think her voice sounds fuller and meaner. And I think that's kind of what I was kind of pushing for when I went that way.
Yeah, I find my voice sits better in like, I'm more of like an alto kind of vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been great, but like over the years, it's an experiment, I guess. That's what it's about, is trying to experiment, right? So I don't consider myself like a shredder of a guitar player, but maybe innovative is the word. So I'm always trying to find certain riffs, and for me, because my hands aren't really fast, I'll change a lot of tunings to see what kind of riffs I can come up with. So you're playing in the same positions that you should on normal tunes, but you get different notes, right? So I just kind of play with tunings a lot. So that's kind of why I always experiment.
Nice picking that one up.
Yeah.
Are there vocal techniques you learned in your pop days that you've had to unlearn for metal, basically?
Oh, yeah. I think that one of the things that really does not jive as well, but I do pull it out in select moments, is like the musical theater voice. Like the very very pronounced, everything like feels so clean and doesn't have that grit or texture or attitude that you really want to have in metal music. And this guy will call me out a lot of the time with vocals when we're in the studio. Well, he'll give me like a scenario or maybe like another artist to try to emulate when I'm recording a take, and it will push me kind of outside of my comfort zone enough that I'll find kind of a new placement or a new tone, and then I can kind of use that in my toolbox in measured amounts. So it's like, a little bit more grit, but hold back a little bit here, and so there's lots of ways to play with vocals, and I think that's one thing we try to do with this band.
Your question's good, though, because her technique's really good. So, like, the pop stuff gives her really good technique. So she can learn, like, when we're recording, you get, like, an artist is singing, they can go sharp or flat sometimes by accident. Skye's one of those people, because of her pop career, working with a lot of people in a younger studio environment, learning how to sing properly. If it is starting to go flat or sharp or something, like metal or punk or whatever, I can go, hey, like this is happening. And she reverts back to the pop side of her training and goes, cool, I know exactly how to make sure that note never goes flat anymore. And a lot of that kind of stuff is kind of neat as well. So yeah, I think I
had some interesting vocal teachers along the way.
Yeah.
One guy made me get down on all my hands and knees and bark like a dog, and I'm starting to question that in my later years.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Dude, that is not a vocal technique. Just so you
That's
know,
what I
that's
started to
no
realize
vocal training.
now.
I don't know who the hell you're talking about. Are we allowed to swear on this?
Yeah.
So that's fucked. And we should talk about this after when we're off camera and find out who that was that did that. Because I've never heard of vocal training on your hands and knees barking like dogs.
I only went to him a couple times, and then I was like, this is too weird for me.
Sounds kinky though, doesn't it? In some weird way.
Well, that's what I'm hoping that it wasn't,
Jesus.
but my mind tells me it was.
I learned. I've been working with you for how long now?
Yeah.
Anyway.
What's the cruelest thing you feel you've ever done to your voice where it felt like the next morning after a show you couldn't even talk?
Oh, okay. There is a specific moment. I actually remember this. We partied on Sunset Boulevard after our Whiskey A Go Go show. We went to the Rainbow Room. We had a full night.
Our drummer
buddy-
puked on the bar in the Rainbow Room while we carried him up the stairs. He kept puking. Do you remember
Yes.
that? It was a really rough
It was
one.
a really rough night. We were staying in our bus/RV that we had converted from like an old school bus, which had absolutely no air conditioning. So I had drank myself silly the night before.
Which we don't do anymore. We're not that kind of people
Woke
anymore.
up in this tin can, like I felt like I was literally cooking. My body was cooking like in an oven, and I was so dry, it felt like I could cough up sand. Like I was literally, my voice felt like I just feel like I've completely dehydrated. My entire body has no moisture left in it. And I remember being like, that was not a smart idea, because we are now headed into the desert to Vegas for our next show. It's not going to get better from here.
We've had to cancel shows when Skye's voice gets too popped.
Yeah, but
Maybe
usually...
it's the only time we've ever canceled shows, really. And one time our drummer did the same thing. Like, whenever somebody gets sick. So maybe...
Yeah, sickness does really take a lot out of you,
There was a time
unfortunately.
in England, I remember your voice was popped. And she'd sang fine one night and just went too hard partying. And the next day she couldn't sing.
Yeah, it's usually the partying that gets me. But
Even with partying, if you're like vocal warm-ups and you know what you're doing, you can still make it through usually.
steamer, use the steamer. That's good.
Yeah, best we can do.
Speaking of drummers, you might have heard that Kurt Cobain was always conflicted about his drummer
I've
with
heard
Dave
this.
Grohl, and especially in the Unplugged set. And for you guys, I've noticed you've switched up drummers quite a few times. So
You
I was
know,
wondering what's
that's-
behind that.
That's
There's
not...
a long stories about
Woo!
these drummers.
Well, like, no, we're past 4. We're on 5 or 6 now. I think we're on 6 right now. Well,
Yeah.
okay, the truth is Skye and I write everything and create everything in our studio. So we don't really need a drummer in the studio half the time when we're writing. And, when we first started, there was, who was it? Ken and Andy were our 2 main guys that started with us. Oh, no, Legs first started with us. And our first drummer got taken from us and went to Every Time I Die. And then our second drummer didn't like touring and stayed at home to become a music teacher.
Yep.
Our third drummer didn't want to get the vaccine shot during pandemic, which everybody to each his own.
And we couldn't tour with
and
him.
we couldn't tour with him, so he decided that he was going to stay home. And then our fourth drummer, who really, really locked in with us for years, Joey, was killing it with us and was doing great. We love him. He's still a family member. He got into a terrible car accident
in
January. And it really, I wouldn't say the word maim, but it screwed him up to the point where he can play drums, but not perfect right now. He's still healing, probably a lot of physiotherapy, a lot of work. He actually did come out and do one show with us because we were in trouble and needed it. But it took a lot for him to get through that show. And so so Joey's still part of the family, but not playing with us right now. And then we have a friend of ours through our bass player. We met this guy named Jeff who's filling in for us right now. And so we haven't really picked a full-time drummer. We're just hiring somebody to work with us right now until we find out more about Joey too, because we love our old drummer and he's got a lot of healing
So
to
you
do.
might return down the line.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say that because he's had a lot of time off. People's minds change as they're working too, so I don't want to speak for him, but we love him. I want him to get healthy, but he has a lot of healing to do. That accident was bad. It was a bad accident. He was in a coma for a week. A lot of burns. It was rough for him. So he's doing great now, but definitely not ready to go on the road. If we go on the road for 60 days, he's not ready to do that right now. So
Honorable mention to Sid, who filled in for some music videos.
Oh yeah, we have drummers that fill in for music videos in general.
Yeah.
And and so we've got a lot of family members that fill in here and there. So we are like the second Spinal Tap of drummers. Like it's it's just how it goes, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I play drums, so it's like I record a lot of it myself in the first place when I'm recording, and then I'm hiring somebody to come and play with us half the time, right? So, and if I find somebody that I think is amazing and a family member, they stay with us until they don't want to be with us, you know? So, Joey, I hope he can get back here, but right now, this guy Jeff that we barely know has filled in, and he's doing great. So, we just roll like that, you know? Whatever we have to do to get back into playing, you know?
How did you approach this latest album in comparison to your other ones?
This album was a completely different process. We wrote over 60 songs for this
that
record.
That guy's got a rad Daredevil costume. Look at that. That is Daredevil. Sorry, my bad.
This is the pros and cons of being at Comic-Con is the distractions.
So distracted so easily from all the costumes. Okay, sorry. How did we make this record?
Yeah, I was saying it was very different for us for the process because we wrote so many songs before we kind of narrowed down our final track listing, which isn't really like us because we usually like to release a lot of the material that we write, and usually if we finish a song we think it's justifiably should be released. But this one, because we were encouraged by our team to kind of experiment a little bit more, and to be honest, our management really wanted us to...
record for... Write as many songs as possible. Throw us as many ideas as you can. Way different than the other three records.
Yes.
The other three records are like literally just, we wrote 12 songs that we liked or 11 songs and we just moved. This one was a lot of songs, a lot of ideas, a lot of asking questions.
I also wrote on the piano on this one,
Skye
which is
wrote,
different for us.
We'd never written songs on piano. Skye wrote 3 or 4, maybe 5 of them on piano. Maybe not 5, 4. No. But a bunch of ideas on piano.
Yeah, which I'd never done before. We've always started with guitar, so that was different.
Yeah, we always started music first and vocals second, and this was vocals first for a bunch of songs and music second, which is kind of interesting. We've never done it that way, so.
And then we also had a outside producer come and help with the full record. So Sam Guyana came to our home studio. We spent the whole month of February together, and Matt and Sam co-produced the record. But literally, we had never been in a situation where we were working on the album like every single day of the month. Usually because we have our home studio, we can come in, come out.
Yeah, the first 3 records, you know, we were writing around our own schedule, where this one, because we hired somebody to come in and work with us, we'd already done a lot of it ourselves. We asked them to come in and kind of scrutinize and be like a 5th or a 4th eye and a fly on the wall and tell us, what do you think, you know? And so it was interesting watching him come in, and we had to work every day for about 30 days straight with this guy and make decisions really on the fly, which sometimes it would take us weeks to do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was interesting. It was definitely Sam's done a lot of cool stuff. He's a really good mixer and engineer. He's done Silverstein, Neck Deep, a bunch of cool bands. So he's been around. I think our record sounds better than we've ever done so far. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Do you stack your vocals on the takes and the screams and all that?
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely usually we
less
would do
stacking
2.
this record than any of the others, though.
You would do more.
Back in the day, the last 3 records, I feel like we stacked all our vocals more. This record, I feel like we, you know, you're stacking, but I felt like we were pulling back, like we're trying to sound more like what we would do live. Does that make sense to you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you look at me like
You're
a question mark?
Scott,
but you did stack a lot of vocals still.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, there's a lot. There's harmonies in there that Sam encouraged as well, and some like background parts that normally I wouldn't think of or do, because I'm always, like Matt said, always trying to think of how I'm going to do this live. So if there's like 2 overlapping parts, I'm like, then how am I going to do this live? But sometimes, you know, you got to do what's best for the song and the recording. And I think we all argued and figured out what was best.
Right now we're in the process of playing these songs live now. We just started moving into like getting them live and really starting to put them, and it's interesting trying to see the difference of how it comes together.
This is my last question.
Okay.
You mentioned piano before, and you remind me of like a popular Maria Brink, like from In This Moment. And I was curious if you'd ever do a cover of The Fighter or Let Your Gun Down from that Ritual album.
You never know. We do covers very few and far between, to be honest, in this band, which is not like a lot of other artists. We're very, very super selective.
I'd be more of a fan of Maria Brink covering Us.
Or a duet. We could maybe come up with a song together. That would be sick.
Anyway, I think we could do some kind of thing together. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.